Hey everyone, I'm Rin from Rindar Gaming, and today we sit about 2 months into the Battle for Azeroth WoW expansion. As I look over my character and his 340 eye level shoulders, I have to ask the question, is the Azerite system working? So like most of you, I started off farming gear at the beginning via world quests, mythic zeros, and emissaries when they did happen to pop up, trying to get my gear kind of baselined at that 340 item level. Now, once the raid came out, we started to realize that lockouts were going to kind of become a problem, right? You'd already seen some lockouts in the form of the Mythic Zeros and the Emissaries, but now we had to worry about raid lockouts as well as hunting for those weekly Mythic Plus caches. We couldn't get those caches at the start of the week, so we had to wait till the second week when Mythic also released to see those, which did allow us to actually gain some pretty high level loot if you were able to complete an 8, 9, 10 the previous week. So most guilds jump straight into normal and or heroic depending on their guild and the guild's item level. We started off in normal. We go through, we clear most of the bosses out, and this is where I start hunting for those Azerite pieces. I get no drops. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's the first raid lockout. We'll get past it. The Mythic Plus Emissary runs around. Nothing there. So now we're in week 2. Rinse, repeat. Here we sit several weeks into the process. I'm wearing a 370 head that I received from a Mythic Plus cache. I've got a 355 chest that a guildie traded to me. And my 340 shoulders, I'm still wearing those out of one of the Mythic Zeros that I ran a month and a half ago. So now we have to start asking the question, is there enough actual loot lockouts? We've still got those Mythic Zeros, but at this point we should all be moved past those. The emissaries are still locked down at 340, so again, not a lot of help there. The Mythic Plus caches are a great source for Azerite gear, but with them being RNG based, it's so hard to farm up pieces that you need, let alone trying to find a BIS piece or best in slot piece. It's got some bad luck protection built into it, but it could still take months to get the pieces that you need. Nothing is guaranteed you're not going to get 2 chests back to back. So we still have raid lockouts. Some people are running normal, heroic, and probably even mythic, but those drops have seemed inconsistent at best, and we're just not seeing the same level of Azerite drops that we used to see on the old tier bosses, where before you could almost be guaranteed to see 1 or 2 sets of shoulders or chests, whatever it was. Now, with the Azerite pieces being so spread out, it's all just down to RNG. So you're still able to farm Azerite gear out of your PvP weekly caches as well. Fill a little conquest bar, and at the end of the week, you can go open a PvP cache. Now, this follows the same rules as the Mythic Plus caches do. Random drop out of a large pool. The only difference is, in a lot of cases, the PvP gear that drops out of there just isn't that good when compared to the Azerite gear that comes out of raids or dungeons. So Blizzard is implementing some changes to actually try and fix this system, right? The emissaries are going to now drop 370 loot, and that change was actually implemented very, very recently, and we're starting to see the benefits from that. But again, this falls to RNG. In a lot of cases, that's the honor-bound gear that isn't good for a lot of classes. I've made Frost DK, it's actually pretty garbage. And while it could be considered a more consistent source of high item level Azerite gear, it's just not what a lot of the player base is looking for. One of the changes Blizzard is making is they're putting in a 4th ring for your Azerite gear to where we'll have an extra set of traits available. This should help balance out the scaling for some of those Azerite pieces, kind of bringing some of them back into line and making them more viable. But this change isn't expected until almost 8.1 when the first raid tier is completed. Might be a little bit too late, if I'm being perfectly honest. So what are some of the changes that we would like to see? For starters, open up Azerite gear in Mythic Plus. This is a very, very simple change, and one that I think should have been implemented from day one. All the rest of the gear in this expansion is essentially farmable via the Mythic Plus system. This includes trinkets, weapons, and anything else you really want to get your hands on. So why are these pieces so exclusive and locked behind this huge time gate? Time gating is something we've seen more and more from Blizzard over the course of the last few years, and it just doesn't feel good. Blizz, give us a chance to go out and farm the gear that we want. You made an infinitely spammable source of gear. It's slow, It's not necessarily consistent. It's still super RNG based, but it promotes people actually playing your game. One of the other big changes we'd like to see is people being able to change traits. Now, I main Frost DK, but I do like to go Blood from time to time. This sucks because it means that I have to either A, respec the Frost gear that I have, or farm up another set. Now, I can't get 370 pieces for my main spec. What's the chances that I'm going to find 370 pieces for my off spec? And God help me if I'm playing something that's a tri-spec class. You're done. Blizzard could actually fix this system relatively easily. All they've got to do is force people to go back to town to change the traits, basically remove the gold cost, or make them swap automatically with specs. In a lot of cases, when you're locked into a Brewmaster trait and you want to go to a Mistweaver trait, you've got to go back and pay an outrageous amount of gold, or the trait is absolutely useless. Why not make these traits auto-swap the way tier gear used to be? We spent years with tier gear automatically switching back and forth between specs. It was something that was hailed from the community. Why are they moving so far away from that? It just seems like we're kind of moving backwards. With regards to tuning, Blizzard could very, very simply fix this solution by reducing the total amount of traits. Right now, there's a lot of traits that are very, very difficult to understand, and a lot of them that just kind of do the same thing. Why not just cut them out, right? They can call it pruning. They've been a fan of that in the past. And make this system much, much, much easier to tune for the amount of classes that are actually equipping the pieces. We don't need 40 different dots or 40 different heals or shields. It's fine. Just put a couple of them out there, tune them all up real nice. It'll be simple. There's 6, there's 8, there's 12 of them, what have you. We don't need the 40 or 50 that we're seeing right now. It's just excessive. There was a lot of cool ideas implemented. Like, we saw them really, really trying to throw some wacky stuff out there and make it kind of fun for the player base. But people aren't going to be drawn to that. People are going to go onto websites like we're seeing right now with Icy Veins and Blood Mallet and these other really, really good theory crafting sites. They're going to find the one with the top damage, and they're going to click the button, and they're not going to think about it again. People are going to choose what gives them the most damage, even if something else might be cool or fun. The last thing I want to talk about is the carrot, right? And if you've been playing for a minute now, you understand what the carrot is. The carrot is the Heart of Azeroth, that necklace that we all received at level 100 and didn't realize how much of a pain in the ass it was going to be later on. Yeah, that's our carrot. Right now, as we get this 340, this 355, these 370 Azerite gears, the levels required to actually activate traits that we already have continues to rise, forcing us to spam world quest, island expeditions, or whatever else we can do to get our hands on some Azerite just to unlock traits that we've already gotten used to playing with. They want us to open these up. They want us to utilize these cool little traits and these systems and these heals and these movement speed increases and all these fun little things. But just about the time you get comfortable with having them, you find a new piece, you finally get an upgrade, and you just lost that really, really cool movement speed increase you just got, or that really, really nice bubble that you were really, really enjoying when you're tanking those mythic dungeons. Why do we constantly keep having to re-farm traits? It's basically just reprogression. Nobody feels good having to go back and farm for things that they've already done, they've already earned. Alright guys, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions or comments, make sure to post them in the comments section below, or come check us out at twitch.tv/RindarGaming. Till next time, y'all.